Press, thank you for being here tonight. It has been a long day for all of us and for Nigerians as they await the outcome of the negotiation between the federal government and the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress. We've had very painstaking and meticulous deliberations, but what is important here is Nigeria, and all of us are committed to ensuring that this country remains united, peaceful, and prosperous. And that is the spirit behind every inch of this negotiation. We're grateful to say that at this point, we finally have an agreement to be jointly signed by the Trade Union Congress, the Nigerian Labour Congress, and the federal government. The details contained in the agreement will be presented by the Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment. Thank you for being here. Good evening.
It has been a very long process. We started from the Ministry of Labour and Employment down to today. And by the grace of God, like the Minister of Information mentioned, we resolve. And all of us resolve with a smiling face. I will say with a smiling face, not with any trouble in the interests of this country. I will go ahead to read some of the issues we arrived at, and then we can all go in and sign our signatures and append our signatures on these documents. Now, this is a memorandum of understanding reached between the federal government of Nigeria and the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, as a result of dispute. A meeting was called by the federal government to avert the strike, and after much discussion, the following agreements were reached. 1. The federal government grants a wage award of 35,000 naira only to all federal government workers, beginning from the month of September, pending when a new minimum wage is expected to have been signed into law. 2. A minimum wage committee shall be inaugurated within 1 month from the date of this agreement. 3. Federal government suspends collection of value-added tax VAT on diesel for 6 months beginning from October 2023. 4. Federal government accepts to vote 100 billion for the provision of high-capacity buses for mass transit in Nigeria, that is CNG. Provisions are also being made for initial 54,000 CNG conversion kits to kickstart an auto gas conversion program, whilst work is ongoing on the start of the state-of-the-art CNG station nationwide. The rollout aims to commence by November with pilots across 10 campuses nationwide. 5. The federal government plans to implement various tax incentive measures for private sector and the general public. 6. On the leadership crisis rocking the NURTW and the purported proscription of Retian, RTEN, the federal government commits to handling labor matters in line with relevant ILO conventions and Nigerian Labour Acts. A resolution of the ongoing impasse is expected by or before October 13. 7. The issue of outstanding salaries and wages of tertiary education workers in federal-owned educational institutions is being referred to Ministry of Labour and Employment for further engagement. 8. The federal government commits to pay 25,000 per month for 3 months, starting from October 2023, to 15 million households, including vulnerable pensioners. 9. the federal government will increase its initiative on subsidized distribution of fertilizers to farmers across the country. 10. The federal government should urge state government through the National Economic Council and Governors Forum to implement wage award to their workers. Similar consideration should also be given to local governments and the private sector workers. 11. The federal government commits to the provisions of funds as announced by President on the 1st of August broadcast to the nation for micro and small scale enterprises. The MSME's beneficiaries should commit to the principle of decent jobs. 12. A joint visitation will be made to the refineries to ascertain their rehabilitation status. 13. All parties commit to henceforth abide by the dictates of social dialogue in all our future engagements. 14. The NLC and the TUC accept to suspend for 30 days the planned indefinite nationwide strike scheduled to begin Tuesday, the 3rd of October 2023. And 15. This memorandum shall be filed with the relevant court of competent jurisdiction within 1 week as consent judgment by the federal government. And now the signatories. Then here, the TUC president is here. The Minister for Labor and Employment. I am the chief conciliator, supported by the Minister for State, Labor and Employment. On the side of the federal government too, you can also see the Minister for Information and Communication is here. The Minister for Finance is here. Minister for Humanitarian Affairs is here. And on this side, you can see the Secretary of the Labour Congress is also here. The Secretary of the TUC is here. So nobody is not, I won't say there's anybody that is relevant that is not here. Thank you very much.
Minister has read the agreement, so what else am I supposed to say? There are questions for me to respond to. After 30 days, if these issues are not implemented, we'll revisit all the issues.
If that every single item in this agreement are implementable, every single item in this agreement, we are extremely serious about them, and we wish to also reiterate that we are expecting 100% implementation and not a 99% in any way.